Alright, hello and welcome to this tutorial. So today we are going to look at how to properly format your LaTeX document, alright, your equations, how to align the equal signs and the rest. And we'll also look at how to properly give spacing in your mathematics environment. So without wasting time, let's look at this. But before we continue, please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And then don't forget to like the videos as well. Alright, so let's quickly take a look at this, right? The first line here, I have given, and then y is equal to some expression. The derivative y prime is given by. Alright, so when we look at this, we have all of these inside a math environment, right? So you can use text in a math environment without making LaTeX recognize those texts as an equation. Okay, so let me give an example. So for example, if I use this and then I write maybe given and then I put into a math environment, LaTeX is going to recognize this as some sort of equation, right? But we do not want this to show as an equation. Okay, so let me zoom in to that. You see how it's formatted this. So it's formatting it as an equation, but we do not want that. So because of that, we have to use a special line of code for that. So we talked about the align environment last time. We just look at something very simple about it. So we are going to talk more on it today because it's essentially useful when you are writing these kind of equations. I'm going to say backslash begin and then align. So I'm going to choose align star because I do not want the equation to be numbered. So let's write out the first equation, right? So to include text in a math environment, all you have to do is backslash and then text, and then you bring your curly braces. What you do, we write given, so given, and then our equation is y is equal to, then we have a fraction, so frac, the numerator is given by 1 plus, and then ce to the exponent. Let's put that into the curly brace. We have discussed this already. If you don't know this, please refer to my other tutorials. Okay, so we have another fraction, so that's the exponent is also a fraction, so we have another frac, and then now we have x squared, and then the denominator is 2, right? So we have a negative in front of the fraction, so I'll put that negative right here. Okay, and then to our denominator is also given by 1 minus, and then we have ce, so e to the exponent, and then now we have another fraction, so frac, and I'm going to write so the x squared, so x to the power 2, and then the denominator is 2, right? So I'll put a negative right here since it also has a negative, right? So let's compile this and see what we are getting. Okay, so that's not all. Let's write the rest. So given the expression y is equal to the expression, the derivative. Okay, so since this is a text, we have to put into the text command, and we say the derivative, and then we have another mathematics expression, so that's y prime is, so another text, so is given by, right? So let's compare the code and see what you get. Okay, so let me zoom out just a little. See, we have given y, even though we gave the space right here, LaTeX is not recognizing that spacing. So in the math environment, spaces are not recognized. However, LaTeX has made or has provided a way for us to give manual spacing, right? So I'm going to list some of the ways or some of the commands which can be used for spacing, okay, in descending order, so from the biggest to the smallest. So I'm going to comment that the first one is kill quad, the second one is quad, we have backslash and the semicolon, backslash and colon, backslash and then comma. So most of the time these are the ones that are used. There are more to this, but most of the time this is what you're required to use, right? So let's use this spacing to format our document and see how beautiful it becomes. So I'm going to use the quad right here. So quad, so backslash quad, and then so giving y, I want spacing before the y, and then okay, so spacing before the y, and I want spacing after the expression, right? So let's look for the expression. Okay, so that's the text right here. I need to put some spacing here, so quad, and in front, before and after the y prime, right? So I'm going to put, for that I'm going to use the backslash and the semicolon, and then here too backslash and semicolon, right? Okay, so let's compare this and see the output. Okay, so you can see given. Alright, so you can also see that we have some spacing after the expression, right here, and then with the y we have some small spacing around it. Okay, so you can use this spacing to make your work really neat. The next thing I want to talk about is the bracket or brackets. So what I want to do is to take a look at this example right here. Okay, so I have brackets and then square brackets. So most of the time, okay, let me just use another environment. So begin and then align. Okay, so most of the time when you have a fraction, there is a way you are supposed to write them so that your equation becomes nice. So let's take an example like this one. So we have 2, and then we have bracket, and then we have a fraction. So frac, let me first close that, and right here, so our numerator is given by negative xu plus xu squared plus, okay, so minus xu squared, right? And then our denominator is given by then bracket 1 minus u all squared, so to the power 2. Okay, so let's compile this and see what we are getting, right? Okay, so because of this space here, let me just remove that, recompile. Okay, so we may think using the brackets will cover the whole expression, but it didn't really cover it. But take a look at the denominator, the 1 minus u all squared. You see it covered it neatly. So most of the time when you have any expression which involves fraction or anything of that sort, you should not just use the parentheses. You should use this command instead, backslash left, and then after closing the parentheses we put backslash right. Alright, so let's compare this and see the answer. Okay, so now you see it covers it beautifully, right? So this is how to maintain this kind of expressions. So equally, if I want a square bracket, I could change this place to the square bracket, and this one to square bracket, and that should render it beautifully. Okay, so as you can see from here too. Okay, so that's about the bracket. Let's also take a look at how to properly align your expressions in the align environment. So for this, I want us to quickly take a look at these 3 lines. So this one here, and then the last one here. Right, so let's see how we can align some of the expressions together to make it look nice. Alright, so I'm going to start a new align environment. So begin, then align. Right, so let's write the first one. So let's say something like let's say it's a text, so we have to put into the text. So let and then u is an expression. Alright, so let u, so we know that we need to give some space, so let quad, so we give some space, and then u to be equal to, and then we have the ce to the exponent and now we have fraction. So negative, we'll put a negative outside, so let's type the x squared, so x to the power 2, and then the denominator is 2, and then let's put our negative right here, right? So let u be equal to that which is right here. So that's the first expression. And so once that is done, what I usually do is, instead of just breaking the line in the align environment, what I do is I give it extra parameter passing about 0.6 centimeters space, 0.6 centimeters. Okay, so what this, you just see what this does. Okay, so let's go through the second one. So with the second one, we have y being equal to some expression again. So let's write that. Just to make the work neat, I use the percentage, so to comment the lines, because if you leave a line in the align environment, you are going to get an error, right? So what I'm going to do here is to write the next expression, which is y is equal to that. Okay, so we have another text here. Let's put that one here before we end the line, or we break the line. So we have another text. Let's put quad and the text. Okay, so then, right, now let's write our equation. So we have, so y is equal to, and then we have a fraction. So frac, we have 1 plus u, and then 1 minus u. Let's put some spacing, so quad and y prime to be equal to, we have another fraction, so frac, and then our numerator is given by, so 1 minus u, another bracket, negative xu, and another bracket, okay, so before the bracket we have minus, so minus, and then the bracket we have 1 plus u, right, and then another bracket xu, so xu, right? So that's our numerator, and then let's go to our denominator. We have 1 minus u all squared, right? So this is the second expression, which is this one. We have written this and we have also written this one. Let's look at the third one. So we have if y, so we are going to use the text. So I'm going to break the line first and then put 0.6 centimeters and just use some percentage sign here for commenting the line so I don't get any errors. So I have text and then have if, then let's leave some space, so quad, then y equals, then we have a fraction, so frac 1 plus u, and then 1 minus u, right? So you have another text, so let's leave space first, so quad, then text, and then is a solution to the equation, then quad. So we write the second expression, right? So which is 2 y prime plus x into brackets, then y squared minus 1, then all squared, right? So all squared. Okay, there's no all squared, I was looking elsewhere. Okay, so it's equal to 0. So that's our expression. So let's compile this and then see what you get, right? So let's take a look at what we have written. Let me first comment everything so we'll get only this one. So I'm going to comment all of these by pressing Ctrl T. Right, so let me recompile. So see what you're having. Normally this is how your equation will be written, and it's not nice at all. You have let u be equal to c exponent something, then you have your equation written, but this is not nice. It's not well formatted. Okay, so what I want us to do is to let's look at this. So we have the let u moving somewhere closer to the center. We have y, and then these two equations equal signs being aligned. So let's see how to do that, right? So in the align environment, it is very easy for us to do this. What I usually do is that, so I said let u be equal to that. It's just a simple statement. What I do is I first give some space, so quad, and then I use the ampersand sign. When you use the ampersand sign in the align environment, you are telling LaTeX to align it to other expressions too. Okay, so let's use that and see how this will be formatted. So when I come to the equal sign of the second one too, which is y is equal to this equal to right here, I'm going to put ampersand in front of it. Okay, so because I want it to be aligned with the first expression, so this one. And then when I come to this one to if y is equal to, I want to put ampersand right here so that it will also be aligned. Then let's recompile this and see what we get. Okay, so now you can see this is a little bit nice, or nicer than how it was. Okay, so we have these two equal signs aligning themselves. Okay, so this is what the ampersand sign is used for, and you can manipulate this, get a very neatly formatted document. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about too is the type of font I have used here. So maybe you're wondering why the font we have here is not the same as what we have here. So I used a package called ELAVM, and this is what it does. It changes the font. It's a type of mathematics font in LaTeX. Okay, so if you want, you can include it in your project. So to include that, we use the package. So we say use package and then EULERVM. So ELAVM. With that applied, let's compile and see how the document will look like. Okay, so you can see it kind of changes the appearance to make it a little bit neat, right? So that font is really nice. I really love it too. But you can see this particular PDF or the document I have here has a little bit, the font size is a little bit bigger than what we are having just here. So what I did was, in order to make the document or the text in the document stand out, I used a package called the RealSize to increase the font size in the math environment, right? So I'm going to include that package. You can also add it to yours if you are interested. If you're not interested, you can also use the normal one, right? So I'm going to say use package, use package, use package, and the package name is RealSize, right? So before you compile this project, you must make sure you have active internet connection. The reason is this package is not added to LaTeX or MikTeX by default, so you have to download it. It will download some small files. You need to have an active internet connection to be able to use it, but because I have already downloaded it, it's not going to ask me to download it again. But on your side, it's going to tell you to download it, right? So this is how to use it, and it's quite simple. So let's say, for example, I want this expression to become a little bit larger. What I do is I cut the whole expression, and then I use backslash math larger, right? And then now I paste the whole expression inside it. So let's see how this modifies the appearance of our document. You cannot really see how it works. Let me just nest more into it to just show you how it really works. So I can include another math larger right here. I'm just nesting them, so I can include another math larger. So math larger, and then let me paste it. Okay, so now you can see that's really visible, right? So you can see the CE negative x squared over 2 is bigger than all of these. Okay, so let's say we want to apply it to the right hand side of this equation, which is y is equal to 1 over 1 plus u over 1 minus u. So let's apply it to the 1 plus u over 1 minus u, which is right here. Okay, so this one plus u over 1 minus u. So we copy this whole expression, and then we use math larger. So math larger. So that's the environment or the command we use from the RealSize. Okay, let me nest another one. So math larger, just to make it a little bit visible. So I compile this, and let's look at the output. So you can see the math larger has really made the 1 plus u and 1 minus u to become bigger than the whole than the rest of the text. Okay, so this is how to increase your font size in the mathematics environment, and then how to also format your mathematics expressions. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and then also sharing the videos as well.